going on, man? I'm Shaggy Bates.
And I am Jorge Herman.
All right, today we're going to bring you our picks and predictions for Week 3 of the NFL. Starting with Thursday's game, we got Kansas City playing at Philadelphia. Andy Reid homecoming game. It's going to be a tough game. Kansas City's running the ball pretty good, not turning over the ball. Alex Smith throwing the ball around pretty good. Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick are really hooking up this year. They're going to have a great season, but I think KC is going to be too much. I'm picking them to win on the road.
I'm going to go with KC as well, Chino. Big game for Andy Reid coming back home. They're going to be honoring Donovan McNabb at halftime by retiring his jersey. But I am going to go with the Chiefs on this one.
Yes, sir. And with Philadelphia allowing at least 30 points a game, Kansas City's going to whoop on them.
Yeah, they are giving up a lot of points. All right, our next game we're going to talk about is the noon game on Sunday. First game we're going to talk about is Packers against Cincinnati Bengals. Man, Aaron Rodgers, unbelievable again. Looking good. Packers had first 100-yard rusher first time in like 42 games, something crazy like that. But I'm going to go upset. I'm picking Cincy. I like that team. I think they're up and coming. Made the playoffs 2 years in a row, and they're really looking good. If they can keep the turnovers to a minimum, I think they can steal this game.
The big question here is, can the Packers limit A.J. Green and Andy Dalton? I don't think so. So I'm going to go with the upset, too, again. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Green Bay gave up a lot of points in Week 1 against San Francisco. So I really do think that Cincy is going to have that passing attack and just kind of take over with A.J. Green.
You good? Alrighty. The next noon game is the Rams at Dallas in Big D. The Rams are playing pretty good this year. They won last week. They had a tough loss against the Cardinals in Week 1, but I'm expecting the Cowboys to bounce back and win against the Rams. Rams got a poor pass defense, so I think Tony Romo's going to torch them. I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think, but I'm picking Dallas to come out with a win.
I'm also going to pick Dallas. The only problem with Dallas right now is they can't seem to get a run game established. They're running the ball they're passing the ball way too many times as opposed to running. They need a more balanced attack. But I think the Rams defense is not going to be able to hold Tony Romo and Des Bryant outside the numbers. So give me Cowboys.
You good?
Yeah.
Next thing we're going to talk about is the Chargers. San Diego Chargers traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Chargers have surprised the hell out of me this year. They're playing good. Phillip Rivers is keeping his turnovers to a minimum. He's actually looking really good. Matthews, the running back for the Chargers, needs to get a hold on the ball because he turned it over I think twice last week. So they do that again, they're gonna lose. But I'm expecting them to beat the Titans on the road.
Me too. Tennessee just doesn't have enough offensive weapons. They do have Chris Johnson, but let's face it, he's not the running back that he was in years past. So I'm going to look up to Phillip Rivers and that San Diego offense just light up the scoreboard in Tennessee. Moving on.
Moving on to our next game, we got the Cleveland Browns playing at Minnesota Vikings. Vikings coming off a sour loss. Thought they had one in the bag and they let it get away. But I'm picking them. I think Adrian Peterson is going to be too much. I'm picking the Vikings to win easily over the Browns.
As am I. I don't know what's going on here. We're picking everything the same right now.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. Everything's going the same. Adrian Peterson running wild. Give me the Vikings.
I'm going to go ahead and say, my stats ain't working right now, so I'll get back with you shortly.
Our statistician just got us some breaking news, and it seems like Richardson has just been traded from the Browns. He is going to, where's he going?
The Colts.
Colts. Wow. So that's a big loss for Cleveland right there. Moving on to the next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing in Foxborough. I'm picking the Bucs on this one. They haven't played very well this year. But neither have the Patriots. Tom Brady's not getting the ball. Oh, he is getting the ball to his receivers. They're just not catching the balls. They're really desperate for Gronk to get back. But until he's back, it's gonna be hard for me to pick the Patriots. I'm going Bucs on this one.
Well, it is a 50-50 chance that he is going to return this game. However, who knows what kind of production he's going to put out. The Bucs do have a bit of an ego boost this game with Deshaun Goldson. His suspension was lifted by the NFL, so he is going to be able to play this game. However, I can't pick away from Tom Brady and the Pats at home. I just can't do it. Eventually, his receivers are going to start catching the ball, and look for him to target Dobson. So, big game for Tom Brady and Dobson. Pats.
Next game we're going to talk about is still a noon game. Arizona Cardinals traveling to New Orleans to face the Saints. Drew Brees looking good as always. Cardinals got a new quarterback in Carson Palmer. They expect really big things out of him, especially if Fitzgerald can stay healthy. I know he's got a hammy problem right now, so it's gonna be a good game. Gonna be competitive, but I think Saints are too much in the second half, and they're gonna pull away with a win.
Absolutely, you can't pick against the Saints in the Superdome, man. That place gets so loud. You can't trust Carson Palmer on the road, and that Cardinal defense only has one quarterback sack. You cannot beat the Saints without getting pressure on Drew Brees. He will just light you up. Saints all day.
All right, the next game is the Lions against the Skins, and this game can go either way. Lions, they're still a team that's growing. They have a lot of trouble closing out wins. And the Redskins, RG3 just does not look like himself this year, ever since his injury. But I'm picking the Skins at home. I think RG3 is gonna bounce back, have a good game. I heard talks about him running the ball more to get that offense going early instead of late as they have been. So I'm picking the Skins in this one.
You know, Chino, you bring up that last point where RG looks to run the ball, and you're right, he has not looked the same, but that offense hasn't looked the same either. They're trying to get him to become they're trying to protect him more by having him sit in the pocket and throw the ball and just take away from his game. Is his knee better? Only RG3 knows that. We didn't say anything last year when Adrian Peterson just came back and just torched everybody.
Yeah.
So might it happen? Who knows? But for this weekend, I'm going to look at RG3, and I'm going to look for him to run the ball more, and I'm going to look for him to take control of this game and feed off the emotion of that crowd at FedEx Field. Give me the Skins.
All right, our next game we're going to talk about is the Giants going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Giants, number one team in pass yards per game, Eli Manning, but he's also has the most turnovers. He's just tossing up the ball. He needs to get things under control. The run game isn't helping him at all. I think they're dead last in the run, but it's still not an excuse. You gotta watch where you're throwing the ball. Let your defense play and try and squeeze out a win. Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton hasn't looked good. He didn't look good last year after his great rookie year. He hasn't looked good again. Granted, he played Seattle in the first game of the season, but he just hasn't looked himself. And I'm picking the Giants. I'm picking the Giants to win this one.
Yeah, that sophomore slump has continued to his third year for Cam Newton. I don't see it. I don't see him getting out of it anytime soon, especially against the Giant defense, who does have a pretty good defense. That offense, it's only a matter of time before Eli Manning figures it out. But like you said, Chino, they got to figure out that run game. They need to get something going in the run, and those turnovers need to stop. Eli Manning has gotten away with throwing the ball down the field and just throwing it up for grabs, where his receivers are bailing him out, and they're just not doing it this year. So look for him. Look for Manning to do a little more checkdowns. And then once they establish a running game, then that's when you're going to look for him to throw the ball downfield to Victor Cruz. But give me the Giants in this game. I just don't see them losing 3 in a row.
And that's an interesting division too. The Giants, Redskins, Cowboys, and Who's your other?
Eagles.
The Eagles. That's gonna be another one up for grabs this season. Next game we're gonna talk about is the Texans playing at the defending Super Bowl champion Ravens. Texans have looked so this year. They haven't got the passing game going so good. They got a rookie Hopkins looking good to help Andre Johnson get relieve some of the stress he's under. And then they got they're giving split carries to Tate and Arian Foster, so that's really helped their run game. A lot of people have them favored, probably to be in the AFC Championship game with Denver. They're going to be playing a tough Ravens team, but let's face it, they're not the same Ravens team that we've seen in the past. So I'm going to go Houston Texans in this one on the road.
Exactly. That Ravens team, the reason they're not the same is because they had suffered 2 huge losses in the offseason with the retiring of Ray Lewis and also the departure of Ed Reed back there on the outside. So their defense isn't the same. But then on that same token, Arian Foster doesn't seem the same.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He hasn't been putting up very good numbers at all this season. However, Ben Tate has been picking up some of that slack. I look for a great game, a great AFC battle between these two teams. I have Arian Foster on my fantasy team, so I hope he can just pound the rock and get in there and take some of those carries away from Ben Tate.
Yes, sir.
But right now, I just don't see it happening. I'm going to go with the Ravens on this one.
I'm sorry about that, Shaggy Bates, but looks like Tate is averaging 8 carries over Foster's 3.
You have an SAP button over there you can touch?
All right. Next game we're going to talk about, and it's our first 3 o'clock game, is the Colts with newly acquired Richardson at running back playing at San Francisco. We still don't know if he's going to play. I'm pretty sure he will. He's probably on a plane right now to Indianapolis. Playing a 49ers team that just got killed by Seattle last week. I think the key to this game is if San Francisco wants to win the game, they need to run the ball more. Frank Gore hasn't had a great year, but he's not getting his touches. San Francisco seems pass happy, and if they get the ground game going, I think they'll be fine. I'm picking the Niners to win this one at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pick the Niners as well. As you said, Frank Gore he doesn't seem right at all either. But granted, this is the very early onset of the season. So it can go either way. It's way too early to start talking about playoffs, although that Seattle team out there in that NFC West division looks very, very tough to beat right now.
Yeah, they look like the favorites.
Especially the way their defense is playing. Last week holding San Francisco to only 3 points. But I'm going to look for Kaepernick to bounce back. Hopefully he can start throwing the ball a little bit better and get away from running. But just give me the Colts. I'm sorry, the 49ers.
All right, the next game we're going to talk about is the Falcons going to Miami to face the Dolphins. It's going to be a good game. A lot of people look at this one on paper and say, the Falcons are going to kill them. But Dolphins are 2-0 this season. Tannehill's throwing the ball good. They're keeping their turnovers to a minimum. They got a good run game in Miller. I think it's going to be close, but I'm still taking the Falcons to pull out a win on this one.
Well, I'm one of those people that looks at this on paper and says, no freaking brainer. Give me the goddamn Falcons. Ryan Tannehill, yeah, he is throwing the ball very well. However, he got shooken up last game, and he's still kind of feeling the effects this week. He hasn't practiced very much, so who knows how Tanny's going to be come Sunday. But just give me the Falcons with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. You can't pick against them. Atlanta.
All right, the next game we're going to talk about is the Bills playing the Jets.
Garbage Bowl.
The Garbage Bowl. I'm liking the Bills in this one. E.J. Manuel's really a lot of people were saying what the heck is Buffalo doing when they picked him first quarterback in the draft. A lot of people thought there were better quarterbacks available, but he's proved them wrong. He's done really good this year. Got a big win last week. Bills got the number 4 best rush team in the league, so I'm expecting them to get a tough win on the road.
looking at this game earlier, I was going with the Jets, man. I love Geno Smith. I like the way he handles himself. But, you know, what swayed me is I was watching a show on TV the other day about rookies in the NFL, and they were profiling E.J. Manuel. And I love this kid.
He looks good.
He's a great.
And the next game we're going to talk about is the Jacksonville Jaguars playing in Seattle. I don't even know if we should go over this one.
Just skip it.
Yeah. Jaguars, probably the worst team in the league, playing probably the best team in the league. So
yeah,
going Seattle on this one.
Absolutely. Although the Browns are trying to compete when they traded Richardson away for the worst team in the league, so trying to figure things out there. But no brainer, man. Seattle.
Our next game is our Sunday night game. It's going to be the Bears traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Bears are looking pretty good. They're a playoff team. Jay Cutler threw some horrible passes, just threw them up for grabs. Then he comes back with a game-winning drive. The Steelers just look out of sync. Ben Roethlisberger, he just doesn't look healthy. He's not throwing the ball well, and the run game isn't helping him at all. But I'm not going to go against the Steelers. I don't think they're gonna lose 3 in a row to start the season. I just don't see them going out like that. So I'm picking the Steelers to win a really tough one here at home.
Yeah, that last week, just Jay Cutler being Jay Cutler, you know, throwing the ball around, up for grabs, whoever wants it takes it, and then I'm going to come back and win the game.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, this is going to be a close one. It's going to be a hard-fought game. Steelers aren't playing very well at all. Ben Roethlisberger is the most sacked quarterback right now out of active quarterbacks. So give me the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears defense in this one with Jay Cutler driving down the field late to win the game.
Last game we're going to talk about today is a Monday night game. Oakland Raiders playing the Denver Broncos. Raiders, I think Terrell Pryor runs too much. He's leading the team in rushing yards per carry right now, but I think they need to give the ball to McFadden more, pound the ball a little bit, short passes. Terrell Pryor's, he just needs to take control of that offense. But it's not going to happen this week because the Broncos they're going to destroy him. I'm picking the Broncos in this
Absolutely. It's another no-brainer for me. Peyton Manning just playing out of his mind right now, making the Colts look terrible for releasing him a few years back. Look for Peyton Manning to throw 7, 8, 10 touchdowns this game. No-brainer. Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos at home.
Yeah. That's all for Gridiron Talk this week. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell us what you think. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.